Hi Capricorn, I hope that you're all doing well. The first card that we have out for you is the Moon. I'm seeing the Lovers. In the Moon, I'm seeing somebody that has like a burgundy tank top. That's what it looks like to me. It's like a rich red color. I'm hearing amber. So we have the Moon, we have the Lovers. I'm also seeing Three of Swords. With the Moon, it can be something that we're working through. It can be something that we're feeling. It can also be sometimes something that we're keeping to ourselves. With the Lovers and the Three of Swords, this can be something that you're in the midst of processing. Because the Moon is there, there can be something deep-seated that you're looking into. Like, it can have to do with wounds related to relationships. It can have to do maybe with one specific relationship. It can be something that you're thinking a lot about. With the Moon there too, it can be some time of exploration of what's going on in the recesses of your mind as it relates to relationships, even a particular relationship. I'm seeing the Moon and I'm seeing Ace of Cups here, and so I wonder if it looks like there's a new chapter that's getting started, but because the Moon is there, I'm wondering if this is not out in the open. I feel like this is something you'd be happy about. Like something that looks joyful, something that looks carefree. And maybe also too, this is a new chapter where you're really checking in with yourself. You can be paying a lot of attention to your mental health, to your emotions, to what's going on physically, what's going on spiritually. I'm hearing Virgo. We also have Pisces and we have Gemini. I'm seeing Strength come out, but I'm seeing it come out reversed. Okay. You can be feeling a little bit weak in the knees here. Okay. With Moon, Strength reversed and Three of Swords, this can be something that you're going through where you're like, I don't know if I'm strong enough for this. I feel like this is just like highlighting something important for you. I feel like a relationship wound is very much part of this. In a way, it even seems like we have Ace of Cups and we also have Ace of Pentacles here, and I do feel like something is opening up. I do feel like something is getting started, but because of having the Moon but then Strength reverse, this can be you going through something where you're like, mentally, I don't know if I'm strong enough for this, or it can be emotionally, I don't know if I'm strong enough for this. It can be like where you're seeing weaknesses as well. It can be where you're seeing like willpower be dying off. It can be where wounds are taking over as well, and it can be sort of like freckled upon this. This can be something that you're seeing here. I'm looking at Four of Swords on the bottom of the deck, so there can be something about needing to take a break. There can be something about resting here. I am seeing a chapter that's going on here, and in a way I feel like there's a willingness to show up here and to focus, and that means to like externally what can be going on is that you can be having a new chapter with somebody or a renewed chapter with somebody here, and it can be something that you do feel drawn to and you're putting a lot of focus and attention onto it, and externally you can look like you are fine because I'm seeing Queen of Wands here. So like to everybody looking at this on the outside, they can feel like you look like you're fine, like everything is fine with you, but I'm seeing something else going on the inside with the Moon and Strength reverse and Three of Swords and Ace of Pentacles. This can mean like something is really bringing you down. It can be something quite fierce emotionally and psychologically that you're moving through right now. Something heavy energetically, but I feel like you're keeping this to yourself in a big way here. So this can be something where you can be like clamming up a bit here. I'm wondering as well if this is just you seeing something that's going on, and I get this feeling of like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm like strong enough for this. And so even though people looking at you, and I'm saying people just to be able to articulate that I feel like there's something different going on externally. I feel like you're expressing yourself or showing up different externally, and that a different story is going on internally. Because I feel like behind the scenes, I'm also hearing behind the cameras, I'm seeing something where you can be like, this is not for the faint of heart. And I feel like I'm going topside. You can feel like this is something that you are like flipping over. And I feel like on the outside it can look like you're fine, but on the inside you can be going through a huge battle right now, and it can be something where you're like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm not seeing that be the case, but it can be something where like you're not feeling your best right now. You cannot be feeling your strongest, because strength when it's upright is going to be you feeling strong and you being connected with your willpower and you working through things and there being nothing that you're facing that you can't figure out and you being like totally on board. There can be something going on here behind the scenes where it's like maybe you don't have a lot of faith in this. Like maybe you're losing your hope. Maybe you're losing your faith. Maybe something has weakened you at this point, or that would be the feeling of what's going on. Because I feel almost like trauma winning or like wounding winning here. And so it can be something where you're like, maybe you feel like you can't stand up to this. There can also be some type of ego battle that's happening as well with Three of Swords and the Sun. Or something that can be happening is that this is highlighting like the immense pain that you're actually in, or like how deep into this you are, you know, like mentally, emotionally, it can be what you're feeling. Okay, so if we had Lovers and we had Strength and both of them were upright, I'd say that it's like you're going through a hard time within a relationship, but you're really applying yourself and you're really showing up and you're giving it all you can, and that you guys are going to make it through, and that you're like putting your best foot forward and putting all of your effort in, and like both of you guys are doing that mutually, and that you guys are gonna like try to make it, even though it can be the most difficult thing to do right now. But that's not what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing Strength clearly coming out reversed, and it's next to Ace of Cups. So even though it's like it can look like you guys are in a good place or like you're starting a new chapter and things are all right, having Strength reverse can be like you don't believe in this, or you can be like not putting that effort in anymore, like your heart's not in it anymore. I feel like that more than anything. So even though it's like here you are together with one another, I'm seeing it be like heart is not in it. And I feel like what this is highlighting to you is how deeply you can feel wounded, like how deeply hurt you can feel. It can feel like very apparent, very obvious, and you can feel like you can't unsee it either. You can't really push it down anyway at this point. I get this feeling of feeling like the wounding is taking over. And so I wonder too if you're like trying to armor up and battle through this when really you may not feel like you're all right at all. But you can be putting, I don't want to say like putting on a show, but I get this feeling of like I'm showing up as the Queen of Wands, like I'm fine, whatever, like I'm independent, like I'm not bothered by what's going on here, like everything is great, but I'm seeing something very different go on the inside. And so you can feel like internally you're in a very different place than what you're putting on right now. And having that Four of Swords can be a time where like maybe you're going to focus inward. Maybe you're going to take some time to take care of yourself. Maybe you're going to do something that you feel is going to help you recharge. Like maybe you need a break. I'm seeing Pisces, I'm seeing Leo, I'm seeing Gemini. This can be a time where you do some self-discovery, because the moon can also be stuff that you're not totally aware of, that maybe you're going to go inside and do some exploring and some self-discovery here. I'm getting confirmation of this. I'm seeing the Lovers go in with the Empress, so this has to do with like the relationships that you attract and can be a particular ongoing relationship that you have, or something like relevant, a relevant relationship that you have going on right now. Yeah, I'm seeing there be something There's something that has cut so deeply, and I feel like this is one of those times where you could have been like, maybe if I ignore it, it'll go away, but I feel like it's too severe and that's not gonna happen. Like something else is gonna have to be done. Because you can look cool, calm, and collected externally, but I'm definitely getting a different story going on the inside. This can be, okay, some of you have new people coming in. Like you can have a new friendship that's happening. There can be like a new friend circle, or you can be meeting a new person or new people. I feel like there's something here that's really important about the emotional support that you have. And if you feel like you don't have what you need, it can be a time where you're gathering and collecting that to sort of like build emotional support around you. So these are like real connections you can feel a sense of intimacy within, and that can be maybe something that you're starting to focus on. It can be like people that find things that you find fun as well. And maybe that's going to help you reconnect with your hope and your faith and your courage and your strength, and ultimately I feel like your willpower and sense of direction. Because I do feel like you're trying your best here. It just seems like you may be in a spot where you've like lost yourself a little bit, which is okay, it happens. I'm seeing the sun go in with Page of Cups, so it can be a time where a lot of stuff emotionally is being illuminated, and you can feel too like you're getting a sense of connection with your intuition. Interesting. So we have Ace of Pentacles and we have the Devil. I wonder if there's like possibly a new chapter that's starting, and you can feel like it's immediately something is starting up, and it may not feel healthy for you, or it may not feel best for you, or it can be like riddled with vices or something like that for yourself. Because this feels like opening a new chapter, knowing that that's not the way to go, knowing that it's not good for you, but it can be something where you're like, this is just how I'm going to cope with it. And let me say this too, seeing that Devil be what the Ace of Pentacles is going back in the deck with, it's reminding me how the first card that came out was the Moon, which is connected with Pisces. And so this can mean that instead of like working through something consciously, you may be repressing here, and it may be coming out as you engaging in things that are unhealthy for you. And it may be the way of trying to escape from having to deal with this, because it can be something that for now you can possibly like run away from a little bit, meaning to avoid. But it feels like I get it like this. Like I feel like you are at the very beginning of starting a chapter, and you know that this is not in your best interest to be doing. I feel like it's the very beginning of this. So I wonder if for some of you, you're going to look at that and reevaluate and say, no, let me turn this around, because I have a feeling that this isn't the best for me. Or it can be a time where you're like, I don't care, and you can maybe slip into something that you feel is like kind of unhealthy for you. But I feel like this is something that you'd keep under wraps, and I feel too like this isn't something that you want to be doing. I feel like this could be a way of coping. It's not even I know that this is a way of coping, but you can maybe double check that and ask yourself if that's how you want to cope with things. Because you know it's just going to maybe get you in some hot water that when you think about it, that may not be something that you want to do here. Okay? All right. With that being said, we are going to leave the reading here. Seeing 1404, let me look this up. It says 1404 indicates that you are being surrounded by helpful, loving angels who wish to bring you peace of mind and joy of heart. It also says that it means you can focus your mind on creating positive changes towards a more balanced life. Okay, so let me just say this, because I don't want this to be coming across in a way where it's like there's no judgment about what you do, okay? It's your life, you're an adult, you get to decide what you want to do. What's going to happen is if you continue to navigate through and open this chapter with the devil, which means like something that you can be coping with, but it's not going to be the answer. What you're going to find at the end of that is that it's not the answer, and then you are going to remove yourself from that, or you're going to stop doing whatever that is. So it's not, you're going to gain from whatever you're doing here. There's not a wrong way that you can go. It's your life story, it's your life path. And so the only thing is to know that if you go down the path, if you really open this chapter up where the devil is, it's not something that you can sustain, because it's not in your best interest to be doing. And what you will find is that you can't outrun what's going on, and that eventually it's going to catch up. Right now you can be at a spot where you're like, I don't want to deal with it, and so you can keep doing what you're doing, or it can be a time where you reevaluate. And it's like, it's whatever. You get to do whatever it is that you want here. There's not a like, you should do this or should do that. You get to decide for yourself, and then that's going to be your experience, whatever it is. Having the Four of Swords, you can take pause here for a little bit and maybe recharge, and then think about things and figure out how you want to proceed from that, because some of you are feeling a bit run down. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.